Big congrats to Fallen Hero EM1. You won the giveaway from last week. Enjoy your Hot Comics list. All right, we got another list of the comics defining this generation of collectors. I'm glad the comic fam's here today with me, Butch the Cat, as well as Gem from GemMintCollectibles. How you feeling, brother?
What's going on, Comic Tom and Comic Butch? I'm doing great. You know, we're plugging along with our Indiegogo campaign for our exclusive variant for Invincible Red Sonja issue 1, drawn by my daughter, Jade Hope. We just passed 90 backers. We're over 8K, and we're looking to get to the next milestone.
Gem, you're about to shatter that 10K marker, unlocking more perks. That trading card is coming. How proud are you of your daughter? She really rose to the plate for this one.
Man, I'm extremely proud. She's only 16 years old, and her artwork is incredible. I live vicariously through her because, like most comic fans, I've always wanted to be an artist, but I can't draw to save my life. So super proud for sure.
Link in the description. Help support a fellow member of the comic fam and the next generation of comic book artists. And let's start this list off at number 10. Slap that subscribe button and let's chat about a book that we've known was going to land hard, but has been undervalued and been slept on for far too long. We have Werewolf by Night 32, the first appearance of Moon Knight, making the list.
And we know Mark Spector's coming to Disney Plus with his own television show. And it's funny, speculators were on this book before there were announcements. Everybody kind of knew Moon Knight had to come eventually. So this had two big growth spurts. We're looking at the second wind right now with these record-breaking sales. We got the CGC 7.0, which sold for $2,150 in January, up 33%, now selling for $2,850.
You know, that record was set in January after the Oscar Isaac confirmation that he would play and take on the role of Mark Spector in the upcoming Disney Plus Moon Knight show. We have an 8.0 this past March going for $2,750, up 27%, going for $3,500.
And then to top it off, we have a CGC 9.4 sale. This sold for $5,700 just last month, and now it's up 40%, selling for $8,000.
Comic fam, if you want to get in on gains like this, 40% uptick in under a month, you got to go for the long-term plays. We're regularly talking about books that are spiking right now because of shows happening and debuting the week of. What about Blade? What about Shang-Chi? What about the second appearance of Moon Knight? There's so many other keys that I expect to spike over time. And if we saw a 40% uptick in under 30 days, there's more books for you to consider. Hit him with number 9 on the list, Gem.
Number 9 is a book that's been on the list for the past couple of weeks, one that we've debated on heavily, talking about Incredible Hulk 180, the first appearance of Wolverine in Cameo.
Let's jump right into it with a 4.5 hitting $700 just in March, now going for an uptick of 42%, selling for $995. That mid-grade is going to break $1,000 any day now.
We got a CGC 9.0 that sold for $2,400 in March, up 55%, with a high sale of $3,719.
These percentage increases are outstanding, comic fam. In under a month, the 9.6 going for $6,809, up 32%, now at $8,955. Great opportunity for us to take a look at what puts a comic book on this list over potentially another one.
Now, when key collectors putting this list together, they're looking for books that have record-breaking sales in at least 3 different grades, and preferably with double-digit percentage increases. So we have some honorable mentions, books that are doing great, but just didn't really meet that criteria.
Let's start them off with some impressive gains with Avengers Annual number 10, the first appearance of Rogue. Clearly some mutant spec going for $1,700 at a 9.8 in March, up 24%, now selling for $2,100.
Then we have Young Avengers 1, which after the last episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier, I'm thinking we're going to see this book on a lot more lists. But this book sold for $750 back in March in a 9.8. It's up 13%, selling now for $850.
Next, we have Batman 423, the classic McFarlane cover. Hit the link above to check out him actually talking about the creative process of this book, hitting 9.8 back in March for $1,725, up 16%, selling for $2,000 this month.
And just because we haven't been talking about Star Wars in the last few months doesn't mean that these books aren't still selling. Star Wars Issue 1. This book sold for $5,655 in March in a CGC 9.8, and this book is up 28%, now selling for $7,259.
And you know it didn't stop there, because the Clone Wars 1 first appearance of Ahsoka Tano, the variant 9.8, going for $6,000 in February, is up 8%, now selling for $6,500.
And a book that I don't think we've ever talked about, Hawkman issue 4, first appearance of Zatanna. This book in a 9.2 sold for $3,900 in August. It's up 36% with a high sale of $5,302.
Next up is the variant to Invincible Iron Man number 9, Riri's major key moment as Ironheart. 9.8's hitting $1,775 in February, up 18%, now going for $2,100.
Then we got Vengeance number 1, the first appearance of America Chavez. This book in a 9.8 sold for $929 in March. It's up 29%, selling now for $1,200.
Let's keep them updated with the coolest smoker in comic books. We got Swamp Thing 37, the first appearance of Constantine. 9.8 going for $2,100 in March, up 32%. People getting hyped and ready for Sandman to hit Netflix, clearly, now going for $2,775.
And then switching from the DC Universe to the Spider-Verse, we have the first appearance of Spider-Gwen in the Edge of the Spider-Verse issue 2. This book in a 9.8 sold for $1,550 just last week, up 13%, now selling for $1,750.
Now, the comic fam can't forget about the Daredevil 1 hikes that have been happening over the last half a year, and it's not stopping. The 3.0 back in December was going for $2,400, now up 35%, going for $3,250. And then we have the first War Machine cover, Iron Man 282, the newsstand version, back in March, going for $640, now up 76%. It's got that newsstand effect in full gear, going for $1,125. Comic fam, clearly there are a lot more comics than the 10 that make our list this week that are hot that you need to know about. And the best way you can keep up on all of them is by downloading Key Collector Comics, the best comic app in existence. Use the code Tom101, unlock yourself a free 1-week subscription, support the show, and let's chat about number 8 on the list.
Number 8 on the list, we have X-Men number 4.
Ooh, we got Omega Red making it?
No, not yet. We have the original X-Men issue 4. First appearance of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. First appearance of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Second appearance of Magneto. This book is still on the list, even though WandaVision's already 3 or 4 weeks removed and Falcon and the Winter Soldier is here, but this book is still breaking records.
This right here shows that the impact that WandaVision had on the collector's market went beyond the comic fam. It hit the mainstream, and the numbers are proving it. A 0.5 back in February was going for $660, and that's up 23% this week, going for $811.
A CGC 5.0, which sold for $2,350 in February. This thing is up 77%, selling now for $4,150.
Then we have the 5.5 up 96%. This is astonishing. Once going for $2,300 in February, up, now selling for near double at $4,500. Comic fam, I gotta hear your thoughts about this in the comment section below. Clearly, Scarlet Witch has gone mainstream. She's gone viral. What characters do you expect to impress us, the key comic market, in upcoming videos that are gonna make a splash on Disney+? And let's take a look at number 7 on the list with Uncanny XMen number 94. Chris Claremont getting on the run and writing the second appearance of the new team.
We've been talking about Hulk 180 and 181. We've been talking about Giant Size X-Men 1, X-Men 1. It makes sense that the next best thing is making the list with X-Men 94. We have record-breaking sales and a CGC 7.5. This book sold for $1,440 back in January, up 60%, selling for $2,305. We got a CGC 9.0. This book sold for $2,250 back in February. It's up 52%, now selling for $3,415. And then we have the next grade up, that CGC 9.2, which sold for $2,700 in March, up 41%, now selling for $3,800.
We just told the comic fam about Rogue's first appearance being up 42% in under 30 days. This is why we keep mentioning characters like Mr. Sinister, Jubilee, Kitty Pryde, Gambit. That's a newsstand that I sit right next to every single video. There's a lot more comics that the comic fam should be focused on besides these monumental keys. Some members get a little discouraged because we talk about a lot of these big prices, but there are a number of books that are right now prime and that are lower in price than these ones that we're talking about that you can get in on right now.
And speaking of books that are crazy expensive and out of reach for most collectors, number 6 on the list, Incredible Hulk 181, the first full appearance of James Howlett.
That's right, we got Logan, our Wolverine, our favorite Canadian superhero, making the list again and again because mutant keys are hot, and the 6.5 in February was going for $4,650, is up 51%, going for $7,000 this month. Then we have the 7.0 going for $6,000 in February, up 29%, going for $7,750 this week. And the 8.5 going for $8,500 in March is up 41%, going for $12,000. But let's not leave them there, Gem. Let's give them some other Wolverine keys that I still think are undervalued and waiting to be spec'd on.
That's right, you got Wolverine #1, the first miniseries by Frank Miller.
What about Wolverine's first solo series? Both of these books could be secured for under $100 right now, under $500 at a CGC 9.8. And with the 6.5 climbing 51% in under 30 days, where do you think these key books are going to go when other members can't get those bigger keys in a short amount of time?
That's a great point, Tom. Those are the next best things. We've proven that on this list alone with X-Men 94 and number 5 on the list. The next best thing from a Fantastic Four 48 is Silver Surfer #1, his first ongoing title.
Comic fam, this is the origin of our Silver Surfer, Norrin Rad. This is the origin of the Watcher. This is the first appearance of Shalabal, his love interest. This is a key book and one that was affordable for a long time. And we have more records to talk about because the 6.5 is up 58%, once going for $889 in January, now going for $1,406 this month.
Then the 7.0, which sold for $1,500 back in December of 2020, it's up 27%, now selling for $1,900.
This is the first time Silver Surfer says the words, "Where soars the Silver Surfer, there must he soar alone." The 9.2 going for $5,500 in February, up 73% this month, now going for $9,500. The 9.2 is going to break 10K, mark my words.
Number 4 on the list, another next best thing. If you can't get the AF-15, Amazing Spider-Man #1 is the second appearance of Spider-Man, the first appearance of J. Jonah Jameson and the Chameleon.
That's right. It's the first time that Peter Parker meets the Fantastic Four, the first Marvel family, and this is one of those monumental keys that keeps on going up. Let's hit him with the 2.0. Back in February, going for $6,234, up 12%. Going for $6,999 this month. The 3.0 going for $6,250 in January, up 38%, going for $8,600. Can you believe it that just 2 years ago, it was common to hear on the dealer floor that ASM1 and Amazing Fantasy 15 were trending down, that they were definitely ones that were great to get a good buy-in at because of how low they were selling. And now we're reporting in 2021, a 5.0, once going for $13,800 in January, is up 32%, going for near $20,000, landing at $18,250 this month.
But that's not all. This week alone, that all-time high sale was broken twice in CGC 2.0 and 3.0s. Also, a little honorable mention since we mentioned AF-15, a 4.0, which sold for $35,850 in February, is up 24%, now selling for $44,500.
Next on the list, at number 3, we have Giant Size X-Men #1, the first appearance of the new team, the second full appearance of Wolverine, or the third, or the fourth. Doesn't matter. We have some of the biggest price gains that we have seen creep up on this list in the last year to report on. Buckle up, comic fam. Hit that like button, and let's chat about the 1.0.
You were able to get that entry-level 1.0 for under $1,000 just a few months ago, but now it's up 84%, selling for $1,560.
The 1.8, going for $1,100 in January, is up 64%, now landing at $1,800. Gem, do you remember when this book hit $20,000 last year? We knew that it would creep up as the mutant spec would get hot, and it doubled. It hit $40K just a couple weeks ago. Then it went up 55%.
55% from its last week's sale of $43,666. This book in a 9.8 sold for $67,900.
This is insane, comic fam. We are talking 3 times the amount that this book was going for last year just hit this week. That is $54,000 higher than 2019's highest sale. That is $61,000 higher than what this book landed in 2015. Comic book history in the making, comic fam. Hit the subscribe button. We're here every week for you to dish on this news.
Now, we mentioned WandaVision. We mentioned Scarlet Witch being a mainstay in pop culture now, and wondering if future MCU Disney Plus television show characters will reap those same benefits. Number 2 on the list is showing that just might be a thing, with Captain America 117, the first appearance of the Falcon, making the list.
The comic fam knew we were going to get the first African-American mainstream superhero in comics hit the screen in Disney Plus. And back in January, the buy-in for a 3.0 was a lonely $200. And now, post the show's debut, is up double, selling for $385. That's an uptick of 93%.
Then we got the CGC 4.5, which has more than doubled. This book was $245 in just March of this year, now selling 125% more, selling for $550.
The 7.5, once going for $545 in February, is up 102%. Now going for $1,100. Members are starting to get a little worried. I'm seeing posts on Instagram, even comments in our own video. We're breaking a lot of news here, but the community is also seeing mind-blowing record sales happening on a near daily basis. Members are starting to get worried that maybe we're in some type of bubble, something similar to the 90s, and I want to shoot that down. I want to pull that down just like Red Wing got pulled down in the most recent episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Well, consider this. Disney just announced that they surpassed the 100 million subscriber mark on Disney Plus, and that the Falcon and Winter Soldier debut was their most watched episode yet. So let's say maybe 5% of the subscribers watched. That means 5 million people would have tuned in.
5 million people potentially tuning in, and that could be low. Let's just say 0.5% of them watched the show and had a slight bit of interest in joining our comic book fam, our comic community, and engaging and buying comic books. That would mean a staggering 25,000 new members have entered our community. Doesn't that make these numbers make a little more sense when we're seeing unprecedented gains like we've never seen before? I think so, comic fam. Welcome the new members, and welcome the next number on our list.
The next number is number 1 on the list, man. We have a book that I kind of hinted at earlier here in the video, but we have X-Men number 1, the first appearance of the mutants.
The first appearance of the mutants, Cyclops, Jean Grey, also known as Marvel Girl, Angel, and the rest, Professor X, is a major moment in comic history. Jack Kirby goodness, and we're actually going to be able to value his signature in a second, so stay tuned. But we have some major spec on the mutant run for good reason. I think post Scarlet Witch announcing to the community that she knows that her powers were given to her at birth. With the Fox acquisition, we know mutants are coming and that it's inevitable. With the tease of Quicksilver happening in WandaVision, it feels like things are coming together, even though we haven't seen any signs just yet. Let's chat about the 2.5, up 69% this week. This past March going for $7,200, up, now selling for $12,200.
Then we have the CGC 4.5. This book sold for $15,850 in January. It's up 42%, now selling for $22,500.
Consider this, comic fam. Each of these grades that we're reporting on weren't just an anomaly. They broke record twice this week. A 5.5 going for $12,600 in January is up 158%, selling for an amazing $32,500 this week.
Man, this book is on fire, and it's going to continue to grow until we get casting rumors and trailers.
Now, comic fam, you ever wonder what a signature on a comic book could be worth? Well, this is how you do it. You look at what the blue label goes for and then what the yellow label goes for. What does the comic book go for without the signature, and what does it go with the signature? And we have Jack Kirby's X-Men number 1 at a 3.5 without signature, selling this week for $14,300.
And just this week, we had a CGC 3.5 signed by Jack Kirby, which sold for $19,200. So $5,000 for the King Kirby signature.
Comic fan, what do you think about these prices? Do you own any of these comics on this list? Let me know in the comment section below. It'll enter you to win a Ken Lashley Marvel Voices Legacy issue #1, and we'll announce it on next week's video. As always,
Geek responsibly and stay minty fresh.
Enough said. Comic fan, we got 2 other videos for you to check out, and hit the link in the description. Join the mystery mail call. We are in active enrollment for the April box. Every single member is getting some Maxwell Prince goodness. Cover art done by Zoe Lucky out in Italy. She killed it with this creepy but beautiful haha issue 3 cover. Secure your copy and have a great week.